we're talking about hypothesis testing. There's some more details that I still hadn't fully gotten out there for you. And I want to actually go through the example of the CAD ownership and show you exactly how this whole thing works. Now, there are these specific steps. This is listed on your laminated sheets as well as in the textbook. These 5 steps of how hypothesis testing actually works. We'll go through them in detail. There's a couple of new things here. The idea of the critical value and the test value. But first of all, here's the question. Here we have this survey. Do you have a cat in your household? So we have 40 out of 100 that say yes. Of course, that's 40%. Now we want to say, is this actually higher than the national survey of 30%? Alpha, we're going to pick 0.05. So, as we talked about in the earlier ones, we've got the null hypothesis. That's the standard we're setting. The 30% is the standard. And then we want to prove that what we've got for the students that we surveyed is that they're not part of that population. They have a greater value. Now, what is the critical value? Well, it's the number which tells us where alpha lives, okay? And if we're looking for alpha 0.05, then we can look that up on the table and find that means the critical value is 1.645. Anything greater than that would be an unusual result. So we're going to compare then this critical value, that's where alpha is, and we're going to compare it with the test value. Test value information is going to come from the sample and also from the statement of the problem, and we're going to get a number that we're going to use. This is how it works. What is the test value? There's a formula on your sheet, the z-score that we need when we're doing proportions. We take p hat minus p over square root of pq over n. Numbers are listed there for you. We come out with 2.182. So now we can make our decision. If we have this thing in the rejection region, then we're good. We proved it. And that's what happened here. The test value comes out to be 2.182. The critical value is the 1.645. So we're out there. We've done it. Now we want to summarize the results. The long form has all the details about how this works. But then we just want to know what's the short form, right? The true summary. Is it or isn't it? Okay? And so the long form is going to have a lot more details in it. You need to know them both. Okay? Here are all the things in the long form. Now you'll have this list. I'll give this to you so you'll know what the list is. But then, and we're going to do this for the example so you can see how each part of this gives us information that we want to know when we're drawing the conclusion. 95% confidence, there is evidence. That's what we're saying. There is evidence to prove this. And we don't care about the sample. We're asking, what is the population proportion of students? It's greater than that in the national survey. So yeah, we've proven it. That's great. There are only 2 possible conclusions. Either we proved what we set out to prove, or there's no decision. As you go through the examples, you'll see this. It's important that you understand. Either we proved it, which is a good thing, or we cannot make a decision. Now, there's another thing called p-value. And what that happens with that is that we're using that test value that we had, and we look up that z-score, and it tells us how big the tail actually is. And if it's smaller than alpha, then we make our decision. All right, that's it.